Well, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to our weekly nakshatra video of Rahu in Satabhisha nakshatra. And what happens when Rahu is in the nakshatra of Satabhisha. And just on a short note, thank you very much for everybody who watched my Rahu movie that I just released this past Friday, interview of Rahu. If you haven't seen it, see it. I appreciate everybody who loved it, liked it, thought it was okay, and absolutely hated it. Thank you. I'll make another video on it explaining exactly about the movie, why I made the movie the certain way, what may be next coming, all those things. I'll make a video on it. But today, let's talk about Rahu nakshatra or Rahu in nakshatra. And as always, if you do not know where Rahu is placed, what nakshatra it's in, what sign it's in, all the other planetary placements, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link here. So, Rahu in Satabhisha nakshatra. See, Satabhisha is a nakshatra actually ruled by Rahu. So, Rahu is absolutely comfortable in this nakshatra. Rahu becomes very powerful and very Sattvic in this nakshatra. But there's a journey to being Sattvic. See, what is Satabhisha nakshatra first of all? Satabhisha nakshatra is a nakshatra known as the 100 stars, the 100 physicians to the gods. This is the nakshatra of healers, healthcare practitioners, Ayurvedic doctors, aerospace engineers, thinkers, philosophers, occultists. And Rahu controls this nakshatra because Rahu, in this day and age, even though we are transiting from Kal Yug to Drap Yug, Rahu controls every major aspect of our lives. What is Rahu? Technology, softwares, aerospace, drugs, addiction, film, porn, pleasure, addiction. It represents everything that controls us right now. And what are we doing? Think about it. What are we doing? We try to run away now from these things, including technology. You read all these articles on MSN, and Yahoo, how people are trying to give up their technology, trying to give their addiction to texting, playing games on internet, and going about without the internet for 2 days, 3 days, or cell phone without 3 days, 5 days. They challenge each other about these things. So you can see not just from technology but everything. People trying to get away from porn addiction. People trying to quit drugs. Because what is the essence of Satabhisha nakshatra? 100 physicians to the gods. Because see, the tattva of Satabhisha nakshatra is sattva, tamas, sattva. Meaning, the nakshatra starts out very pure, as in its pure form. But it has to get manipulated in this tamasic world, where you run into all kinds of people who try to manipulate you, try to swindle you, or you become part of a wrong group, wrong crowd, doing wrong things. And then you realize that this is not me. Why am I doing this? And you go towards the higher sattvic truth. This is why this person becomes a healer. You know which people really become healers? Counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, people who have suffered certain things in their life. See, you don't want to become a heart surgeon because really there's a lot of money in it. No, it starts out by perhaps your father, your grandmother, grandfather getting a heart attack, which impacted you psychologically, and you're like, I want to fix this heart. And subconsciously, that's what drives you to become that heart surgeon. Same thing with Satabhisha nakshatra. And especially with Rahu here, Rahu rules the sign of Aquarius where this nakshatra is in. Co-rules the sign of Aquarius with Saturn. Because Aquarius and Scorpio are very karmic signs. Scorpio is co-ruled by Ketu, Aquarius is ruled by Rahu, and it's the nakshatra of, and this is a sign of eccentricity, innovation, philosophy, social welfare, social reform, network circles, society at large. So every kind of turmoil comes into play. So Saturn energy is there, Rahu energy is there. Then Rahu controls this nakshatra, which is also an airy nakshatra. It's a nakshatra with the quality of Vata. Vata is a josha, meaning there's too much air. There's too much fear and anxiety, and there's too much needingness to attain information. Whereas the Aquarius is a higher sign, the higher self of the air signs, because Gemini represents like housewife bickering and talking about each other. It's like the gossip columns and tabloids. But then comes the higher sign of Libra. Libra is about business relationships. Like, forget about these tabloids and these women talking about each other. Let's do business. Let's make money. Let's make something happen. But then there's a higher self to it, whereas Aquarius is. So that Aquarius sign person says, what are you guys doing? Making money, material wealth, gossip, tabloids? Is that what your life is? No, life is much more than that. Aquarius is a very strong dharmic sign equivalent to Sagittarius. Why? Think about it. If you're intermediate in astrology, you'll know why Aquarius is actually another dharmic sign. Because Aquarius is the Bhavad Bhavam of the sign of Pisces. 12th from the 12th. Pisces is 12th sign, so 12th from the 12th becomes the higher self of itself. So Pisces, which is the abstract spirituality, your abstract imagination in the astral world, this is the higher self of it. Because Pisces is like being on a hallucinogen drug, LSD, and trying to see this astral world through LSD perspective. Like, you're just like, wow, this is great. Where Aquarius is like, oh, I'm up here? Okay, let's find out what this is all about. So can you talk to me? What is this astral world? What is this Pleiadian constellation? Okay, what is this made up of? It becomes a higher analytical conscious side of Pisces. So Rahu rules this nakshatra, and if you also notice, this is a nakshatra that represents the yin yang of Rahu. On one end, the person becomes a healer. On the other end, you'll see a person become a drug addict. Addiction to alcohol. You will see this person being a great technologist. Great, especially during my career consultation, Satabhisha is this one nakshatra that I have seen most of the time with people who are in aerospace industry, people who are in pharmaceutical industry, people who are in software industry. But then you also see the opposite side of Satabhisha, where people will open up illegal businesses online, do hacking online. That too is Satabhisha nakshatra. So it's that Sattva, Tamas, Sattva quality of Satabhisha. And you will also notice with Rahu, when it comes into Satabhisha nakshatra, Rahu becomes very blunt, very shrewd, very crude as a businessman, as a person. They will cut they will cut you down. Like, especially in a conversation, in a business deal, they will suddenly stop you. Suddenly just say, that's it, I'm done. Take it or leave it. Why? Because the caste of this nakshatra is butcher. So butcher is to cut something. So they're very blunt about things that they say, things that they do. And actually, I have seen butchers with this nakshatra as well. Kritaka nakshatra, Bharani, and Satabhisha nakshatra are nakshatra that I have seen in quite a bit of butchers. Because when I go to grocery stores, you know me, I'm eccentric. I'm trying to make a conversation. And what I just ask them, hey, so when are you born? Like, why do you want to know that? I was like, well, I'm doing research in astrology. They're like, you're an astrologer? Wow, that's cool. Tell me something about myself. I'm like, what is your birthday? I'll tell you next time. So I note that down. I come back and I see it. And I'm like, whoa. Especially most of the time I saw Moon, Mars, Rahu, Saturn. in these 3 nakshatras of a person who's working behind the counter in the butcher section. It's like a surgeon. If surgeon had this nakshatra, let's say Mars was in Satabhisha nakshatra, instead of saying, well, let's save this, let's try to save this leg. Let's see what we can do. Let's get a team together quickly. Where this nakshatra will be like, with Satabhisha, nah, just amputate it, get rid of it. I don't have time. Let's just do it, bam, cut it, save the life, stitch it up, good, you're good to go. Where somebody with Pushya nakshatra will do whatever it can to make sure they can save that leg. They want to nourish that patient. This Satabhisha nakshatra also want to nourish the patient. But they're going to nourish the patient by just being blunt. Like, look, your leg's got to go, it's got to go. See ya, bam. But especially with Rahu in this Satabhisha nakshatra, which is controlled by Varuna. Varuna is the god of the ocean, the physician to the gods. Varuna is a deity that loves to serve gods and heal them, because through healing gods, it receives wisdom. So in a way, it kind of becomes a give and take. Like, yes, I will heal you. Come on, come to me. And while it's healing them, it's talking to them. And the gods will give some wisdom out. And it realizes that higher dharmic truth. So Satabhisha is a very strong nakshatra for somebody to realize their higher truth by serving other people. So Rahu becomes very ambitious towards wanting to see itself as a person who makes a change. Like Rahu, as much as it's a malefic energy, it says, look, I want fame. But if I can heal people and get fame, fine, I'll do it. All right, what do I have to do? So, as much as they're using certain things for their own selfish reasons, they actually end up helping the world. But with Rahu, it's important to know which direction it's going through with Satabhisha. Because Rahu has this tendency to start pure, get into all these bad conditions, bad friends who are making the person, you do drugs and do alcohol before a certain age and put them into bad situations. And then they realize, oh, no, what am I doing? My life is completely haywire. And then they leave and they go towards the higher realm. Other planets in this nakshatra does that as well, but Rahu obviously is the king of this nakshatra. It rules this nakshatra. And especially if you notice that movie of Rahu that I did, Rahu in the dialogue says that it's time for me to go to sleep, but I'll always be here. And the reason why it's saying this is this energy of Satabhisha, which started out pure, went bad in Kali Yuga, now becoming good. Meaning, Drap Yuga and Kali Yuga is this transition point where technology, science, and spirituality is going to come together. So, like I was telling you, giving you examples of people wanting to run away from technology, being addicted to technology, being addicted to porn, they are realizing that all the things that we thought are helping us, they're not really helping us evolve as conscious beings. So they're running away from the bad part of Rahu, and the part that is sleep is the bad. The part that is still awake, because Rahu is always going to be here, is that purest form of Rahu, Swambharu, the student of Shukracharya, who is about healing people. He wants to heal, he wants to bring a change so it can understand and get that higher wisdom. There's a lot more truth through Rahu, and there's a reason why I didn't put everything in this movie. The other movies that I'll make, you will slowly learn more and more wisdom. I'm an editor, I like to tease, come on now. But this is a nakshatra of a person who's always passionate, obsessed about either being a psychic, healer, Ayurvedic doctor, tarot card reader, or wanting to be in aerospace, an astronaut, or engineer, software engineer. They have this zest for being addicted to these things. Okay? So guys, this is my analysis of Rahu in Satabhisha nakshatra. If you're new in my channel, subscribe below. And again, if you want to know where your Rahu is placed, if it's in Satabhisha nakshatra, all my books, reports, consultations, for that check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.